We've all been there. That assignment sitting on your desk, staring at you while you suddenly develop an intense interest in organizing your sock drawer. That email you need to send, which somehow transforms into 3 hours of watching obscure YouTube videos about how pencils are made. Welcome to procrastination, humanity's favorite self-sabotage technique. What seems like a harmless delay comes with a hefty price tag, what I call the procrastination tax. This isn't collected by the government but by life itself, and unfortunately, there are no loopholes. When we put things off, we're not just postponing a task. We're accumulating interest on our stress, reducing the quality of our work, and paying with our peace of mind. Think about it. That project you put off until the last minute, it took twice as long because panic brain isn't exactly efficient, and the result was probably half as good as what you're capable of. That's a 50% quality tax and a 100% time tax, and that's terrible financial planning. Remember how Albert Einstein allegedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world? Well, procrastination works the same way, but in reverse. Every day you delay that project, workout, or difficult conversation, it becomes not just one day harder, but exponentially more challenging. Take Mark, a software developer who kept putting off updating his app's security features. It's just one more day, he thought repeatedly. 6 months later, what would have been a 2-hour fix had evolved into a complete system overhaul, requiring weeks of work, all while his users' data remained vulnerable. That's the compound interest of procrastination at work. Small delays snowballing into massive consequences. I'll start my diet tomorrow. I'll begin exercising next week. I'll get that strange mole checked out next month. These statements might seem harmless, but when it comes to your health, procrastination exacts perhaps its steepest toll. Your body is continuously keeping score, and unlike other areas of life, health problems rarely stay the same size while you delay addressing them. Consider the story of Steve Jobs, who regrettably delayed conventional medical treatment for his pancreatic cancer for 9 critical months while exploring alternative treatments. Many medical experts believe this delay significantly impacted his prognosis. On a less extreme, but more common level, how many of us have ignored that persistent pain, skipped those preventative checkups, or delayed starting healthier habits, only to face more serious consequences down the line? I'll update my resume next weekend. I'll ask for that promotion next quarter. I'll start my business someday. In your career, procrastination doesn't just cost time, it costs opportunities that may never come around again. The job market, business opportunities, and industry trends wait for no one. While you're saying tomorrow, someone else is saying today. Thomas Edison once said, "Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work." What's particularly insidious about career procrastination is how it often disguises itself as careful planning or waiting for the right moment. But as Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, famously said, if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. Relationships don't stay in stasis while you procrastinate. They either grow or deteriorate. And repairing a deteriorating relationship gets exponentially harder the longer you wait. Think about that apology you've been putting off. Does it get easier with time? Rarely. Instead, the awkwardness compounds. The narrative solidifies, and what might have been a simple "I'm sorry" a week ago now requires a much more elaborate reconciliation effort, if it's even possible at all. Perhaps the most heartbreaking form of relationship procrastination involves those we love most. How many people have said, "I wish I had spent more time with them before it was too late"? Time with loved ones isn't something you can always make up later. If you want to see the starkest example of how procrastination compounds negatively, look no further than your finances. The mathematical reality of compound interest creates a perfect illustration of procrastination's cost. Consider two people. Alex starts investing $200 monthly at age 25. Pat waits until 35 to start investing $400 monthly, twice as much. By retirement at 65, despite Pat investing more total dollars, Alex ends up with nearly $200,000 more, simply because those early years of compound returns are so powerful. Or think about credit card debt, that $3,000 balance you're planning to deal with later at 18%. Interest will cost you an extra $540 in interest in just 1 year of procrastination. In finance, tomorrow literally costs more than today, every single time. Perhaps the most immediate cost of procrastination isn't external at all. It's what happens inside your head. That project you're avoiding doesn't just sit quietly waiting for you to return. It actively drains your mental energy, creates anxiety, and diminishes your enjoyment of life. Psychologists call this the procrastination anxiety cycle. You procrastinate to avoid negative feelings associated with a task. But this temporary relief is quickly replaced by anxiety about not having done it, which makes you feel worse, leading to more avoidance, and so on. What's fascinating is that research shows the anticipatory stress of dreading a task is usually worse than the stress of actually doing it. In one study, students who procrastinated reported higher levels of stress and lower well-being than those who tackled their assignments promptly, even when both groups ultimately performed similarly on the tasks. So even if you do eventually complete that postponed task, you've already paid a heavy psychological toll just by carrying it around. So how do we break free from this costly habit? One powerful technique is the 5-minute rule. When you catch yourself saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," commit to working on the task for just 5 minutes today. What makes this rule so effective is that it overcomes the initial resistance that fuels procrastination. Starting is almost always harder than continuing. Once you're 5 minutes in, the psychological barriers often disappear, and you might find yourself naturally continuing. Even if you do stop after 5 minutes, you've still made progress, created momentum, and reduced the psychological burden of the task. Plus, you've broken the tomorrow cycle, which is a victory in itself. Another approach is to reframe how you think about the task. Instead of seeing it as a burden, find the opportunity within it. Ask yourself, what's the smallest first step I could take? Or, how will completing this benefit my future self? Remember, today is yesterday's tomorrow. If you didn't do it yesterday when you promised yourself you would, what makes you think tomorrow will be any different? The next time you catch yourself saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," remember that postponing isn't free. Every delay comes with compound interest, whether in your health, relationships, finances, career, or mental well-being. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. The same applies to that task you've been avoiding. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. See you soon here on Narrative Dimensions.